In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum. Today we will discuss about modification of fungal mycelium, modes of fungal nutrition, vegetative reproduction in fungi, and at the end, asexual reproduction in fungi. So let's start. Modification of fungal mycelium, or we can say that specialized somatic structures. So what is the purpose of these modifications? Number one, to obtain the nourishment, to obtain the nutrition. And the second one, to resist and tolerate the unfavorable conditions. And the last one, for reproduction. So the first one is the rhizomorphs. Rhiza means root and the morph means shape. So rhizomorphs, basically the root-like structures that absorb and transport the nutrients and also provide resistance to adverse environmental conditions. The second one is the sclerotium. Scleron means hard. So these are hard, round, elongated, and dark colored resting bodies that is formed by the aggregation of mycelium. And they also provide resistance to unfavorable conditions for the longer period of time. The third one is stroma. Stroma means mattress. So these are compact somatic structures just like cushion or mattress in which the fructifications are formed. Fructification means spores or fruiting bodies. The fourth one is the rhizoids. Rhiza mean root and oids mean like. So these are also root-like structures in the fungi that help the fungal thallus in the anchoring and obtaining the nutrients from the substratum. And the fifth one is the haustorium. Haustorium, these are the outgrowth of somatic hyphae. And these are special absorbing organs and typically present in the parasitic fungi. Through this haustorium, parasitic fungi obtain their nutrients from the living tissues of the host. And one more thing is that haustorium can penetrate the cell wall, but not the plasma membrane. And the sixth one is the aprisorium. Aprisorium, these are the simple or lobed structures that arise either from the germ tubes or the infecting hyphae. And these aprisoria are normally found in disease-causing fungi. So our next topic is mode of fungal nutrition. First one is the saprotrophs. Saprotrophs are the fungi that live on dead organic matter. These are found on rotten fruits, vegetables, moist wood, and leaves. There are two types of saprophytic fungi. The first one is the obligate saprobe, and the second one is the facultative saprobe. Some of these are incapable of infecting the living organisms. So they cannot cause infection in the living organism. So those fungi are called obligate saprobes. And the facultative saprobes, some of the members are capable of causing the disease. They can cause disease. So they are called facultative saprobes. The second type of the nutrition in fungi is the parasites. Some fungi are the parasites. These fungi live on a variety of living organisms called host. The parasitic fungi absorb food material from the living tissue of the host. These fungi are usually harmful and cause many serious diseases in the host. So there are two types of parasitic fungi, ectoparasitic fungi or endoparasitic fungi. Or other words, we can say that ectoparasites or endoparasites. Ectoparasites, their mycelium remains outside the host and absorb food by sending haustoria into the body of the host. So they are called ectoparasites. But in endoparasites, mycelium is present inside the host. The third one is the symbionts. Some fungi are symbionts. They produce a mutual association. They form an association with other organisms, and these associations provide the mutual benefits. So they are called symbionts. There are two well-known types of symbiotic fungi, lichens and mycorrhiza. Lichens, this is the symbiotic association of fungi with algae. The algal partner provides shelter and absorbs moisture, whereas the algal partner synthesizes the food. And mycorrhiza is the association of fungi with the roots of the higher plants. These fungi help in the absorption of moisture along with the minerals like phosphorus, and in turn, fungi get food from the plants. And the fourth one is the predaceous fungi. There are many fungi that trap small animals such as rotifers or protozoans. Such fungi are termed as predaceous fungi. These fungi develop many animal trapping devices for capturing the animal. Our next topic is vegetative reproduction in fungi. There are following types of vegetative reproduction in fungi. The first one is the fragmentation. In fragmentation, the body is divided into fragments, and each fragment grows into a new individual. This type of reproduction is found in most of the filamentous Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes. The second type of vegetative reproduction is the fission. What happened in the fission? The somatic cell splits into two daughter cells by the formation of a constriction or transverse wall. The nuclear division is mitotic. This type of vegetative reproduction is found in yeast. The third one is the budding. In this method, a small outgrowth called bud is produced. The nucleus of the parent cell divides and one of the daughter nucleus migrates into the bud. The bud is separated from the parent cell by the formation of a septum. The buds separate from the parent cell and become an independent individual. The budding is common in the yeast or Saccharomyces species. The other two types we have already discussed in our previous topic, rhizomorphs and sclerotia. These are the modifications of hyphae which are resistant to the unfavorable conditions and may remain dormant for longer periods and germinate on the return of favorable conditions. Our next topic is asexual reproduction in fungi. The most common method of asexual reproduction in fungi is by means of asexual spores. Asexual reproduction occurs normally under the conditions that favor the growth, and several generations may be produced in one season. So asexual reproduction is caused by the following types of spores. The first one is the arthrospores. The hyphae break up into their component cells that behave as a spores, and these spores are called as arthrospores. And this breakdown is normally the genetically programmed or occur due to certain conditions, just like mechanical injury. The second one is the chlamydospores. These are the thick-walled spores specifically adapted to survive in the periods of dormancy. If the cell become enveloped into wall before their separation from each other, they are called the chlamydospores. And the third one is the simply spores. When the spores are produced inside the sporangium, then it is called as spores. The spore-bearing branch is called as sporangiophore. The fourth one is conidia. If the spore-like structure produced externally in the form of chain, then it is called as conidia. Conidia-bearing branch is called as conidiophores. In this case, the spores-like structures produced externally in the form of chain. The fifth one is the zoospores. The motile spores are called as zoospores, and they use flagella for their mobility. The last one is the aplanospores, also called non-motile spores.